leaders of member countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, which is a new entrant. Dr. Manmohan Singh is expected to make a strong pitch for coordinated efforts on major issues like energy and food security during the summit. The summit is expected to discuss the volatile situation in Gulf and North African countries, including Libya, considering the feeling of uncertainty it has created with regard to energy supplies and prices. And briefing correspondents on board the Prime Minister's plane, Trade and Commerce Minister Anand Sharma said trade imbalance with China has been a matter of concern and has been discussed at the highest level with the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister met Chinese President in Hanoi in October last. Noting that the trade imbalance in favor of China had gone up to $20 billion in the overall bilateral trade as of December 2010, he indicated that the issue is expected to come up during a sidelines talks between Singh and Hu Jintao at Sanya. And for more updates, we are now joined by our correspondent V. Ramakant from Sanya for an update on the BRICS Summit, forthcoming BRICS Summit. Now, Ramakant, first of all, let's talk about the broader agenda. We understand that energy, food security, world economic and financial recovery would dominate the proceedings. But taking a cue from what Anand Sharma said today about the trade imbalance with China, that is also going to be discussed comprehensively. More inputs on that.
Well, Sakal, actually, if you look at the entire BRICS Summit, there is no fixed agenda. There is always a flexibility as far as the issues of common concern are concerned. Well, the Prime Minister is looking at the BRICS Summit basically in order to strengthen the financial architecture of the growing economies. He also welcomed the South African participation in the BRICS Summit because that will provide an African perspective to the entire dialogue. As far as the trade imbalance is concerned, speaking to the reporters on board the special aircraft which carried the Prime Minister to Sanya in the Henan province, he said, yes, there are some trade imbalances which is in favor of China, was a matter of concern. And India had sought greater market access in order to bridge that gap. In fact, the Prime Minister met the Chinese counterpart in Hanoi in last October, wherein he said commerce and industry is basically a cause of concern because that the imbalance is in favor of China had gone up to US $20 million in the overall bilateral trade. And the imbalance was about $16 billion by 2009. And Anand Sharma also said that, the question is open and it is likely to be expected to come up during the talks between the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and Chinese counterpart, Hu Jintao, when they meet tomorrow before the summit begins. The Prime Minister is also expected to meet Russian counterpart immediately after meeting the Chinese Prime Minister Hu Jintao.
Okay.
As far as the question of the trade imbalances are concerned, in fact, Prime Minister earlier had said that it's untenable and we have to work out a strategy in order to have greater access through either government contracts, especially in pharmaceutical sectors and IT sectors.
Right. But also the volatile situation in Gulf and the North African countries will also be taken up in the summit?
Well, as I said, the dialogue is open. In fact, all the members are a part of the UN Security Council. All the members are also a lobby group within the G20, whether it's IPSA, whether it's RIC, whether it's BRICS, or whether it's G20. The main interest that these 5 countries have is in order to remove the uncertainties that still exist in the world economy.
Right.
And these are the major growing economies with a growth rate of 8.5 to 9.2%. So they would like to protect their own interests. In fact, National Security Advisor Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon, when speaking to the reporters on board, clarifying a statement after Mr. Anand Sharma said that, it's not the question of staple visas, it's not the question of yuan. They have their own interests, we have our own interests. Whether any forum, all that matters to us is that we want to safeguard our own interests and our own economic growth. Sakal?
Right. And very briefly now, Prime Minister is also going to take a bilateral visit to Kazakhstan April 15th onwards. 6 packs on the agenda?
Well, actually, Sakal, see, this is the first visit of the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, to Kazakhstan. He is going on the invitation of